Wow, what happened here? I don't know what's going on, guys. All right, we're gonna try it again. Can you all hear me? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me? Just somebody say yes or no if you can hear me. I think I know what the problem is. I'm 90% sure what the problem is, but I want to make sure y'all can hear me okay before I start doing anything for reals. Thumbs up, cool. All right, here's what's gonna happen. The YOLO, I gotta put it on pause, I guess, because my computer is so underpowered, this thing. When I run Crapsy on the browser on this computer to do the YOLO thing, it crashes the whole thing. It crashes my entire system. Like my cameras turn off, everything goes away. So I'm gonna just not do YOLOing, but because the screen's up, let's talk about it real quick. I wanna actually go, I'll show you some stuff here on the table that is kind of cool. I wanna run through a couple things from Vegas with you before I start the actual show. So instead of YOLOing, let's do a little tour of some of the Vegas swag that I got, which is, I think it's kind of cool. So this right here, by the way, I went there for DiceCon. This is a water bottle that part of the swag bag that Jeremy provided everybody at DiceCon was this is a big water bottle. It's like like a full quart. Inside of it, there's wristbands, there's a koozie, a bunch of stickers, and some chips that was in there. That was pretty cool. While we were there in Vegas, met a couple of people, and one of them was No Shoes Ken. And No Shoes Ken is a cool dude. He dropped me a couple of chips from a casino. This one is where is this one from? It's from Punta Cana. Dollar chip from there. He gave me, of course, his own chip, which is this one here, the No Shoes Ken chip. I've got a chip from the city of Texas, from Born to Roll Dice. That is from Roman, Born to Roll Dice. We've got Leon Great Crafts' new chip. And I've got, of course, the DiceCon commemorative 2023 chip from Jeremy. So those are all the chips that I picked up. And we'll leave these out here today for good luck. I'm going to need them because I apparently suck at rolling dice. I got a 5 of hearts. We went and saw Matt Franco as a magic show. And this was a card that he had, flung out like 4 of these into the audience. And I actually caught one of the cards. That's a card from the magic show. This is a set of wings that I got. These are super cool. If I can show them to you. Set of wings from Mao, a subscriber of ours. He's actually a pilot out of Mexico. And he flies 787s, which is pretty awesome. So he's a 787 pilot out of Mexico. He'll be here in Seattle for our meetup and possibly at DiceCon as well. So he's a really cool guy. And then I'll show you this later, but I got this, of course, Tattoos by Christoph, if you can see that. This, can't go to Vegas without getting new ink. So I will show you the new ink here in a little bit. But yeah, so some of the swag that I got, the Magic Show card, I'm dropping chips all over the place. The Magic Show card, we got some new ink, got a bunch of new chips, got some wings, pretty good in terms of swag. The best swag of all is all the money that I won when I was down there. So I'm not gonna brag too much today, but I survived Vegas for a week. I was there for 6 days and I gambled 2 or 3 times every single day. And I came out on top, came out ahead. Not just in the gambling, but paid for all of it. Paid for all of our rooms were covered, of course. Paid for meals, paid for Ubers, paid for coffee runs in the morning, actual coffee, donuts, all that shit. We did everything, right? I actually worked it out, man. We came out, paid for all the ancillary stuff. We did rides at the Big Shot, or at the Strat, all that stuff, and still rolled out ahead in the end of it. So pretty proud of how the week turned out for me there. So, but the swag is more important. Like the other shit, like we got the chips and all that stuff, because every one of those chips and the wings and the stuff from Jeremy, all that stuff to me, that came from spending time with somebody, right? That all came from a personal, like, hey, let's get together and chat about. I can take some of this coloring out of here. So it was cool, right? All that stuff means you were meeting people and hanging out. So it was a fun trip. DiceCon was great. I needed a week off. As you could probably tell, I was getting a little bit pissy toward the end of last week. Just kind of like doing 5 shows a day, actually doing 10 shows a week, 2 shows a day, 10 shows a week. It wears on you. it really does wear on you a little bit. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. Hang on a second. To come up with content, it's a lot of work to talk all that much and be positive and kind of keep things going. So I needed some time. And Snippy John is fun, but it's also it's entertaining, I'm sure, to you all once in a while when I get snippy. But at the same time, it's also not ultimately productive. Although the 2 videos that I did last week that were the snippy videos that I cut out and put on the ProCraps channel as like little short rants, people love those. Those are some of the most popular videos I've ever done. Like, people love the little ranty videos. And at the end of the day, I'm right about those things, right? All strategies lose. All over time, every strategy loses. There's no question about it. If that wasn't the case, there wouldn't be craps in a casino. There wouldn't be casinos, right? We would take them all down. So we know that that's a fact. And I think, like I said before, you have to be okay with who you are as a gambler. We did this whole series, what was it, a month ago or something, where I was like, know your personality type. Are you an aggressive, passive, whatever kind of person you are, and make sure your strategy matches? I want to follow that up with what I said last week, which was win or lose the way you want to. Like, don't worry about the judgment. Don't worry about, like Brian said it on Craps Chat last night. Ed is like, there's nothing worse than having a $2,000 fort when somebody else has a $5,000 fort. And Brian from Hawaii Craps Studio says, yeah, I want $1,000 in my rack and get out, right? Fine. If you can earn $1,000 on a table and you're happy with $1,000 and you're willing to walk out, awesome sauce. That's Brian's way. That's largely my way. If you're got to be here, cool. You're going to win massive money and you're going to enjoy it. If you lose the big ass bets that are out there, you'll probably enjoy that loss too, because that's your person. You got to win and lose the way you want to. And I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to just show you all the different ways you can win or lose. So when I run strategies out here, and I don't really rate them, but I talk about them, I'm going to give you what kind of a thing it is. This is a home run strategy. If you're that kind of player, play it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I'll make sure I call that out, because I think it's really important that you are in touch with who you are as a player. Anyway, all that said, let's move ahead. And I want to recap a couple things. So first things first, let's recap our, oh wow, look at the lag. Look at the lag in that camera. Ooh, boy. The paycheck prove it week that we're in here. So I'm doing my second prove it week. And this week, or today, I ran the skill switch, which is a hit or miss kind of a strategy. The first shooter, easy, right? 2 inside hits and down, hit the don't, out of here, right? We made our $500 in like 0 time. It was very, very easy. The second shooter, I had 6 come out losers on the don't. I had 2 whacks up on top where I lost to 330 twice, right? That's a lot of money. What is that? That's 225. What is that? 220. It's 250 on the line we lost, and that's 660 up top that we lost. $1,000 we lost getting all the whacks, right? But it fought back right at the very end there. It was fighting back. We'd made back half of that loss at the very end there. I think fights back quick. I used that a lot in Vegas this week as a recovery strategy and as a kind of a walk-up play. And it worked really, really well for me. That's the reason why I came out ahead. That strategy worked it for me. And that's how it happened. So good or bad tables, that thing did a great job. So I liked it. I've run it today just so you can see how I do it. I may even run it back out here again to give you a sense of how I played most of the week and give you a look at what it felt like to be at a table with me. So there's that. The next thing we should talk about is what's happening in our world, and then I'll jump into the real trip report. Old Bay, by the way, Old Bay, the heart attack kid, that guy, I'm telling you what, talk about, you might as well, playing Old Bay is like watching an NBA game. Like, the game doesn't matter. You watch, I mean, if you can say out there in chat if you watch NBA, and you know what I'm talking about. The NBA, like the whole 46 minutes of who cares, 2 minutes of actual action at the very end of the game. Every game, you can be up or down by 20 points. It doesn't matter. They make it close. It always comes down to the wire. That's Craig. You watch Craig play. He and I played. He's done it a couple times on Friday Night Fights. It's always down to the very last possible second, right? That's Craig. Fun to watch him play. Yeah. So we'll see how it happens next week. I want to remind you of my meetups. Okay. The September meetup here in Seattle, the 15th to the 17th, it's that weekend. And here's the date plan. Now, I've talked to Ian Olson a little bit about this. We're working through exact times and making the times locked down, but the plan currently is Friday night at Snoqualmie Casino, which is the one that's near Seattle. It's over the bridge. It's kind of away from the airport a little bit. That'll be a private $5 table. It's a great little table. They got, I think it's 10 foot or 11 foot. It's a small little thing. It's a nice fair bounce. $5. You can, I know Ed won't play it, but the rest of us will enjoy being able to regress down to 32 across and have some fun. We'll come out to my house at some point on Saturday to practice, because the Tulalip table, we're going to go there probably Saturday at some point, either day or night. We're not sure when yet. The Tulalip private table, that table is made of plastic, and I can't describe it to you until you see it. It's a glass tabletop, but it's got felt on top like a regular craps table. And there's a full crew of dealers. It's just that they licensed this table from somebody. So when you hit a number, the table lights up. It's really cool. But the dice don't really roll on it. They kind of hit and slide, or they hit and stick. It's a really weird table. I've got at my garage a pretty good replica of that table. So we can practice in my garage, throwing to what that surface will feel like. We may even film a little bit. So we're gonna we'll do some live practice. We'll get around the table. We'll do some stuff. We'll have a good time. So that'll be my house. Ian's working on McMiniman's, which is our local. It's a killer restaurant. It's like a restaurant bar. It used to be a school, actually, like an elementary school, and they turned into a restaurant bar. We'll go there and hang out and have drinks. They've got fire pits outside. It's just a really chill place to hang, and potentially a Mariners game on Sunday. So if you want to go to the Mariners game, we'll collect money ahead of time, and we'll get a group rate on tickets. That's kind of what we're. They will, Ian. We're gonna bring 30 people. They're gonna bring us that table. We'll figure it out. Anyway, that's the plan. It's going to be Snoqualmie, the Lip, McMiniman's, and some baseball and some time at my house. That's going to be the plan here if we can do it. Crash for the Cure in Vegas, the 11th to 13th. We are definitely going to be at Casino Quest. I talked to David in person. We locked it all down. Saturday the 11th, we'll be there. It's during their opening hours. So we'll be there from 10 to 9. Or 10 to, I'm sorry, it says wrong. It's 10 to 9, 10 to 7 on Saturday, and 11 to 7 on Sunday. We'll be there. We can only be there during mall open hours. So it won't be 24 hours. It'll be 2 10-hour days, basically. That'll be the plan for Craps for the Cure. So 2 straight days, which is good. We can actually do the telethon, play at night, do the telethon, play at night, and we can all fly home. So that'll actually be, that'll be good. And it's locked in. We got it on the schedule. So I can talk about it now for real. That's the actual dates at the actual place. I'm going to start working now with my host friends on getting us room rates somewhere on the Strip. Ideally, you're going to stay if you're going to go to this thing, I would stay on the Strip at Harrah's, at Treasure Island, at Caesars, somewhere in that neighborhood, because it's a 10-minute walk to the mall. Where the thing is at the mall, it's about a 10-minute walk. So if you're going to come, look in that the Mirage, same thing, right? Somewhere in that area, get walking distance to the mall. It just makes it a lot easier, and then we're all also kind of close together. So, all right, there's that. Reminder for next week: the changes are afoot starting next week. So, Coffee and Craps will stay at its current time. This show will not change. The paycheck will move to 9 o'clock starting next week. We're gonna go after the show. That way, I can go a little bit longer. Next week, we start the Build a Bankroll series too. So it's going to be a different presentation. It'll be the same thing I do now, but we're going to start with a lower bankroll, and we're going to have a smaller win goal, and I'm going to stop. It's going to be win the paycheck or not, and we're going to be done. So the shows could be 10 minutes long. They could be 2 hours long. We're going to win a paycheck or we're not. I won't do multiple sessions. It's just going to be in and out. That's going to be it. So that's why it's going to come after this one. It just makes more sense to have that time of that show be more fluid. Friday Follies, we're gonna do a lot more Craps for the Cure practice games. It's a bubble crap strategies. I'm also starting a new show. I know Ken from Ken Knows Gambling started one very similar to this last week. I'm gonna do it as well. So I guess you'll have competing shows, but really we're both doing it for the same reason. Ken and I, by the way, are in lockstep on lots of things, right? Our vision of daily paychecks is the exact same. right? We both have essentially the same mindset with that kind of a show. With this next show that I'm going to do, it's called Stop Loss Zero. And my intention with that show is to prove that every strategy loses. And so I'm going to run strategies out, and I'm going to buy in for $1,000. I'm going to run them as written, and we're going to burn the money. That's going to be the plan. We're going to burn it all the way out. So we will run everything down to zero. So it'll be no stop loss. I will prove that every strategy has a hole and that you will find the hole at some point. That's that show. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe it's every day. I don't know yet. We'll see how long it takes to run them. Some of these things might take 5 hours to run to zero. So it might be a once a week thing. We'll see. But that's a plan of mine. It's been in the works in my head for a while. Ken started it. I think it's great. He adds a whole different sense of reality to things than I do. We're both there, but it should be cool. Anyway, that's that one. The other thing to talk through here, I think, is United States of Craps. Now, I got a document from Ron, California Craps Club, and I haven't talked to Jen yet. I think Jen has the same document now too. Talking about like what does a California craps strategy look like, number one, but I also want to study a little bit on the state and get a little bit of history, a little bit of vibe, I have some jokes about California, of course, but I want the real vibe of the state. I know that like Washington, California's got probably three zones that are very unique. You got the Northern California, you got the mid-Southern California, and then you got the real Southern California. So I want to kind of get a sense of all that from everybody. And like we did with Chiro and Skill, and get y'all on here and find out what it's like to actually live there and pay all those taxes and at least get nothing out of it. So yeah, I said it, Jen. I said it out loud. But that'll be fun. That'll be our next state. California's our next state, and then we'll move in to get some Ohio and Pennsylvania and whatever else. So think about it, right? If your state has a vibe that you want to share with me, let's have it. John@procraps.net or on Discord. Get with me, and we'll start working on what it looks like to play craps in your state. That's what I want to do next. All right. So let's, I think, talk about Vegas, baby. What happened in Vegas? So I'll give you the full rundown. Opening night was awesome. We met. I actually flew in on Saturday. DiceCon started Sunday, and I rolled in on Saturday, and I literally lost my shirt on Saturday. I came right in alone. My wife came on Sunday, and I came in and I said, "Hey, I'm going to try something." Right? I brought $7,000 with me. I'm going to try something, and I bought in for $1,000 at the first table, and I said, "I'm going to try the lay four, place the point strategy," which we know works. I've done it on the paycheck. It works good. I thought at a $15 table. So I did a $40 lay on the four and a $15 place the point. I thought we're going to be just fine here with $1,000. But guess what? Right? I lost like $700. Well, I think I lost like $640 in like 8 seconds. Like I picked the four, you know, get the point, you know, 7 out in the point. It was awful. Like everything I did was upside down, and I lost my shirt. Ooh, that was bad. Okay, so let's recap. I went back to my room. I got some food. I came back down for a second session, and I thought, all right, on the second session, let me just play some horsemen, and we'll get going, right? Well, like today, 4 or 5 come out sevens later, and it was come out 7, come, hit the point, lose the don't, 7 on the come out. Like I did that 3 times. Like literally, like the worst case for the horseman. Lost my don't on the way out, lost it on the way in, lost the comeback. And I'm like, frickin' hell, man. I was down like over $800 in the first hour of play at the casino. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those weeks, right? And I know that if I had used the entire money that I brought, the lay 4 place point would have came back, right? You know that it's going to come back if you have the bankroll to let it come back. But on day 1, I wasn't willing to go ahead and throw all my money on the table on day 1 and risk having 0 for the whole week. So I stopped playing that strategy for a little while. I played it with Jen a little bit at the Sahara, and the same thing happened to us both. We were getting picked. And I'm like, I'm done with this thing. I can't play it anymore. So I fought from behind in those early days there. And it was kind of brutal. I did find that it was hard to play with everyone. One of the things that I like about DiceCon is that it brings us all into the same place, which is really cool. There are 100 and some craps players out there. There were players at every casino. It was great. but it's hard to find everybody. It really is hard to find people. I found that even with the app, knowing where people were playing, even with text messaging, it's like, yeah, you're at the Sahara or you're down at Binion's and I'm up here at Planet Hollywood having dinner. It's so hard to get around and get to people. That was the most frustrating thing. I think I recommended to Jeremy, like next time we do this, get people all at the same place. Like if we can get common hotel or at least common area, so playing together is easier instead of just logistically really, really hard. But I got to play at the Sahara. I played with Jen. I played with Brian, the Holy Roller. He was great. We played with Blake and her husband and Dan BT14. Great. Dan had a great role for us. Brian had a great role for us. I had a great role for us. We did really good. Everything is choppy. I know, but it's my internet. My computer right now, you can't hear it. It's the fan's going. It's out of memory. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I gotta get a new machine in here like yesterday. I'm working on it. So it's not just you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the feed is so bad. Not much I can do about it either. I got everything turned off that I can get turned off here. So I don't know. Is it still choppy? Yeah, like it's skipping like shit. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what to do. My machine, I can see the chop on the screen here. I can see how choppy and jacked up it is. So, oh God, Victor, please don't even go there. It's everything. It's this computer. You can't stream a show like this with a freaking smartphone, number one. Number two, my computer is out of gas. Like the hard drive is full. The memory is jacked up. It needs to be replaced. And it just is what it is. So maybe I should just stop the show and try this again later on. I don't know. Whatever. I'll keep talking. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so also in Vegas, my family came. My wife came Saturday. My rest of my family came Monday. So I had Zachary and his new girlfriend. I had my daughter and her boyfriend. I had my two sisters. They all came. And so pretty much from Sunday on, I didn't play a lot of craps with anybody. I was all solo. So I basically solo ran the entire way from after Saturday night, Sunday night, starting Monday afternoon or so. I played by myself most of the time. I did a couple of sessions with Jen and those guys down at Sahara, but I did a lot of just me. We had a great time. Like the family came. My sisters, by the way, missed their flight, come here. But we got to meet Zach's girlfriend. Like I said, she was awesome. Allie and my daughter got her first tattoo. I got a new tattoo. By the way, if you want to see it, I'm not sure if it'll show up, but I got new ink. Let me get to the camera here. Hold on. It's up here in the art. It's still got the bandage on it, so forgive me, but there it is. There's the new ink. Can you see it? Good. It's a cross. Let me get in there a little closer. So it's a cross, and he made the cross out of spikes. So the cross looks like railway spikes. They're all rusty and jacked up, so it's pretty cool. We did that. We did all the rides at the Strat. We did the Big Shot. We did the Lean Over the Edge thing. We did New York, New York. We did the Mandalay Bay Sharks. We saw a couple of shows. We had some wickedly cool dinners. We did a party bus for my daughter. The party bus, we all rode the pole in the party bus. We played some Cardi B and we did some, there may or may not be video of that. I don't know. And we drank a lot. I'm still detoxing from all the drinking that we did. It was really fun though. We had a great time with the family. How much for sure? No shirts off. So the craps, I was down a lot day one, like over $600. It was awful. I tried some of the things. I tried some Wayland stuff. It just didn't work out, right? I tried the Horseman to get back. It didn't work out. And I realized that I was doing some things in Vegas that I wouldn't normally do. And I said, you know what? Screw this, John. You're going to go back. I self-corrected, went back to my disciplined play, and I did what I do. I did like I did up here. I did the skill 66 with the don't pass. I did a little bit of Lagerman. I did a little bit of Dallas Drawdown. The Dallas Drawdown, by the way, was great. It worked really, really, really good. I did it at the Sahara. Brian mentioned last night the Sahara dealers were ass. They were so bad. Never had a crew that bad before. I went out there at 110 inside, right? 110, took a hit, 35 hours, down to 88. Took a hit at $28, 30 for 2, which 30 for 2 blew this lady's mind. Like literally 88 inside, pays 28. I dropped $2. It's like 30 for 2, and she was like a deer in the headlights. and it took the box guy forever to get it, right? So do the math, right? $35 come in, then 30 coming in, that's $65. The next hit down to 66 inside, or actually 64 across, depending, right? So I'm playing across for free. And I did that on the $10 tables all the time. 110 to 88 to 64, 110 to 88 to 64. That was my drawdown regression. And I played 64 across essentially for free almost the entire weekend. Now, when I was down, what I did was this: 110 to 88 to 64 and off. And I waited. And I took that 60 whatever dollars it was that I'd profited and just sat there with it. Fixed my rack. Let them 7 out. 110 to 88 to 64 and off. Let it sit there. And rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I worked back that $600 like $70 at a time. And just, I missed a couple of shooters, but I was disciplined enough to work it. We had one hot shooter. That was when I had the 64 across, he rolled and I did the Philly special. Like, so when I get the 64 across, if I didn't turn my bets off, and again, by the time Dan got the dice, I had worked myself back to even. By that point, I had done that enough times that I was basically earned back my loss for the most part. I was down about 100 or so bucks for the trip. He gets the dice. I went 110, 88, 64 across. Dan is throwing the dice. He rolls like a 35 roller, right? And I turned that $64 across into about a $600 profit. And then it went around the table again. And I did miss out on another roll. I had worked my rack to the point where Jen will tell you, I had literally $66 or $67 in my rack. And I'm like, I have enough money for one more shooter. I had already gotten myself even and ahead like $750 for the trip at that point. I was up $750. I'm like, I'm not putting any more of this at risk. I worked my ass off to get back from down $600 to up $750 in that one session. And I had $67, and I'm like, there was Blake, who I wanted to I knew she was a good shooter. Jen, I was going to skip because Jen always throws sevens. And then I was going to be on myself. And I'm like, I can do like one shooter. If Blake can just get me to 2 inside hits, I can earn $67 for myself for when I shoot. That was my entire plan. And so I sat there at $67. And of course, Blake's husband throws like 50 something rolls. He goes off forever. At about roll 25, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to fucking do it. I put the money out there and I went 66 inside. I'm like, I'm just going to take my $50 out of this roll, right? And he did it. He got 2 inside hits right away. I went 64 across and he banged out like 4 10s after that. And I was like, all right. So I made more money on him. And Blake at that time PSO'd, Jen PSO'd. This is my second time with the dice. The first time I had the dice, I rolled like 25. I PSO'd. So boom, boom, boom. We lost like another $150, but I'd made enough money on him to walk out of there with about a grand or so up. After being down the first day. So boom, we come out of there and we're in good shape. The first day. It was great. I had some FOMO on that roller though. I did miss out on that thing, but I was trying to be disciplined and not wait. I wanted to save my profit and save a shooter so I could throw. That was my whole point. And I missed out on it, which is a bummer. But from that point forward, I basically played alone most of the time. I played with a lot of subscribers. I met them at tables, but I basically got up because the family was there. I did a coffee run every morning. I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, went downstairs at Harris, $10 table. They go to 15 at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I played at a $10 table down there and I just did the thing, right? 66, 88, back to 66. And then I would run from there. So I would basically take a $50 profit and accept the fact that I might lose $18 on a shooter, right? So whoever it was that was shooting was 66 to 88, back to 66. That puts $50 in the rack, but I started with 66. So I'm down $16. And I worked that every single day into about 200, 250 every day. I did it 4 or 5 times, right? Myself, another shooter, myself, another shooter, $50, $50, $50, $50, tapping out, see you later, right? The dealer and the pit boss got to know me so well. It was like, here he comes again. And as soon as I did it the 4th time, they're like, he's ready to call her up. They just knew it. When I was up enough, like there was one day where I did that and I'm like, you know what? I think I was up like $2,300 for the trip. I'm like, I'm just gonna let it roll here. And I played out a little longer there and I actually caught a really great roll. And I pressed Philly Special Slough with it. And they were like, whoa, you're actually kind of aggressive. I'm like, well, when I'm in a position to be, we'll play it this way. And they had fun. The dealers finally had fun with me. I say that because they were like, God, this guy he's here for 10 minutes every day. That was a nice roll. And I Philly Special made some money on that person. I use those coffee runs really to pay for dinners. Like that was like my dinner. Like once I got ahead, I had locked up in the safe my initial walk-in that I brought to Vegas, plus the money I just showed you out there, put that up in the safe. And I had about $1,000 that I just took with me and made that $1,000 work. Every coffee run, I bought them for 400. Every night I go to Bubble Craps, buy in for 100. I bought them for $100 at Bubble Craps every single night. And I turned the $100 into about 50 or 60, $75, right? Not a lot, right? Good profit level. That $100 basically was my Uber money. I'm like, okay, I look at my phone. Okay, I burned, $63 in Ubers today. Sit at Bubble Craps, make $75. So that's kind of how I did it. So I used Bubble Craps to kind of, pay for Ubers and pay for like some other stuff. I used my morning coffee runs to pay for dinners and roller coaster rides and all that kind of crap. And just after I got up on that one day, I just short stacked the entire rest of the week. And I used that little bit of money, $1,000, and I literally bought them for $400 almost every time and made it work. I made it work every single day. It was great. It was great. So yeah, I got 0 points, by the way, because Bubble Craps, you earn no points anyway. At the table, it was like $400 in my card, 66 inside 4 times, and I'm freaking out of there in 20 minutes. It was like, I got no time at the table. I got no big bets out there, but I made money every single day. And I think that's the story. Somebody asked in chat last night, Craps chat, what did you learn about yourself at DiceCon? I learned that I can't change my stripes. I learned that I'm going to be a grinder. I'm going to buy in for low mounts. I'm not going to be Waylon and buy in for 5K and make it work for me. I was not that player. I like to work. I like to grind. I like to eke it out. I like to make it happen. And if I get up, I like to be aggressive. When I was aggressive on Dan and I was aggressive on Blake's husband, I was aggressive on the guy at that one table, we made great money when it made sense to make money. But the rest of the time, I worked it. I worked it like an old bitch, man. It was great. I was happy. We ended up net what I showed you there. That money was $1,300. I'm net up $1,300 after paying for flights, food, Ubers, rides, shark show, magic show, all that shit. We're home with $1,300 more than I came with. So my grindy style worked out for me this week. Now, it could have been bad. It could have been like it was this morning. It could have been an awful run. It turns out that I had a pretty good run there. So I was pretty happy with all that. I think there's something else to talk about here. I'll go back to that in a minute. One thing else to point out was I got to play with Brian, Hawaii Crap Shooters. We played at the Fremont, and I also got to film with them on a live table. So an upcoming live Brian show I'll be on that one. And I'm not on it very long. I'm on it for a short time. I had a run. I had a thing I had to do. So I basically, 2 guys shot. I was betting. I shot not very well. And then I leave. And I have to run off to a thing. But because Zach and his girlfriend's plane came in at like 1:15 or something. It was like 1 o'clock and I kind of had to leave. So that was cool. I have not won a hat yet. I did not do well at the Fremont. I love the table. I really liked Palace Station's tables too. My chopper toss on both those tables stuck. Like they stuck really good. No energy off the back wall. Shoot, die every single time. The problem was they died on 7s every time. They would hit and both I would get the one rollover and it'd be a 7 every time. It was like I was a 7 machine. I didn't know how to adjust to that. I knew it was happening, but I didn't know what adjustments to make. So I just kept throwing 7s on those tables. At the Sahara, which was bouncier, and Harrah's, which was bouncier, I had more consistent 15, 20 rolls there, but I did not do well at the Fremont. But, who cares? I had fun. I had a good time. All right, let's move in. How did I play? The live tables, I tried to play the lay 4 place point and got freaking destroyed. I tried the mine for a hot minute and the drawdown. They were okay. But I will tell you this, the dealers didn't like it. At the Sahara, they were incapable of doing it. Like going from 110 to 88 at the Sahara, because it was a green and a red on the 6 and 8, to go from greens to 4 red chips to go to 88 inside blew their mind. And I ended up stopped playing that strategy. I ended up going backwards to the skill 66 instead of the drawdown because the dealers couldn't deal it, believe it or not. At Harrah's, it was fine. At the Sahara, they couldn't even do it. And it's kind of a drag. So I ended up at some point saying, I want 110 inside, do it all in reds. And the box didn't like that either because I was telling him what to do. But he's like, why do you want reds? I'm like, I'm going to draw it down. And when I saw what I was doing and how it sped the game up so much, he's like, okay, we'll let it go. But they don't normally like doing that. So that was the thing with the drawdown, keeping the colors the right size. But it worked. The drawdown worked great. A 2-stage drawdown is essentially the same thing as a 66 up and down. Bigger risk up top. If you do a 3-stage on a $10 table, 110 to 88, and then all the way down to 44 was great. 3 hits. The 3-hit drawdown from 110 is not that scary of a bet, really, and it worked out great. I did the inside up and down, either at 66 or I did it at 110 a few times, 110 and then 34 pressure. I would leave it out there sometimes at inside, or sometimes if I was at 110, I'd spread out to the 4 and 10, and then I Philly specialed it. I would Philly special for one. I'll show you out here for 1 home run hit. Once one thing hit, I'd level out my bets and I would half press. And that's exactly what, except for the 4 and 10. I'll show you exactly how I did this at the table here in a minute. And the recovery, of course, was the skill switch. The skill switch was my recovery plan. I think worked freaking great. It worked great. On bubble craps, what I did was this. And here's not a recommended bubble crap strategy. It worked for me. This worked for me, but it may not work for you. The bubble craps that I played at was the individual bubbles, which I don't like, but that's all they had. And it requires $5 action, total action. And I didn't want to have a line bet. I didn't want to do the place bets because I know that those things roll as damn sevens. So what I did was I laid the back wall for $6, right? $1 on each bet, just to make the minimum $5 bet. And I bet the field for $1. So what happened was most of the time you either roll a horn number and you win in the field, easy dollar, right? You roll a 4, 9, or 10, you lose the lay on that number, but you get paid in the field. So it's free. You come out for free. If it's a 5, 6, or 8, of course, you lose $2. You lose $1 on the lay and the dollar in the field. Most of the time, though, I was winning on the way. So that was kind of like a tie. I don't care about the back. I just wanted to use the back wall just to get the dice to roll. Otherwise, you have to put $5 somewhere else. So that's what I did. Then I would go with $5 inside on each inside number. So $20 inside and $2 on the 4 and 10 on the outside. And the first hit, I would draw it down. The first hit, the insides come from $5 to $3. The outsides go from $2 to $1. On the second hit, $6 across, right? So you're getting paid about $6 on the first hit. You're getting paid about $3 on the second hit. In your rack is $9. On the felt is $6. Still playing the field. And then what I did was a dual mind, okay? The dual mind, and the dual mind was great. So Waylon, you'll love this one. So basically what I did was from $6 across, if the roll was a 4, 10, or a field, right, I would do the mind. I would press the insides by $1. If I rolled an inside number, I would press the 4 and 10 by $1. So inside number, 4 and 10 go up. Anything else, the insides go up. And I was kind of like patty walking the thing. And I'd get them all a level 5 hit, come back down. So one time I had like 4 inside hits in a row, like 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. The 4 and 10 went to, from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 each. Hit a hard 10, back down to $1 for $10. Rinse and repeat. I just did that shit all day long. And I would buy in for $100, watch the little number, and I'm like, $56? Cool. I would say I'm going to go $6 across one more time, locking up the 150, either win or lose on that $6, and I walk out $50, paid for my Ubers. Literally how I did this all week long. It was like stealing money. Literally like stealing money. The sevens all came at good times for me. It was great. It was super, super simple. It was not Jen's magic strategy because I bought in for $100. I'm like, I'm going to go $100. I'm going to try and win back the $50 I burned in Ubers today. And that is it. That is it. So Texas, what is the ass line? This is color up. This is color up's kind of thing. It's the pass line, but he puts the chip over top of the P. And yeah, so a lot of people, when I play the pass line, I always put my chip on the P, just to make that fun. So there it is. So that's what I did. I did the inside out mine there, and that shit worked on bubble crap so good. It worked so good. And I had the field going the whole time. So the field was always in play. Every field hit, I just either rack the buck or press it up or whatever. And I made $50 like on rote. It was so easy to make $50 every time I sat at the bubble craps table. It was stupid. So I had a good week. Play-wise, it was a great week. I made money on bubble. I made money, grind money on the tables, and it was fun. It was good. I love me some Vegas. And I basically paychecked my day. From the minute I lost the money in day one, I just paychecked every single session. $50 and out, $100 and out, like that easy. So that's what my plan was the whole time. Let me go to the table. Let's go back there. I got a few minutes. Let me show you what I did. Let's go to we'll go to this view, and I think that will be Balloon. Oh, look at that. We have the we have our bingo card from the other day out there still. Here we go. Let me show you kind of exactly how I did this. I think I need to fix our colors a little bit on this camera. So give me a second here, folks. Well, I guess we're okay. How's that look? Is that a good color? Good enough. All right, here we go. The good luck chips are out there. Here's a $400 buy-in, and here's literally what I did. $400 buy-in. I'll put the rack here, and I chose 400, and the reason why I did that was because I was using even numbers. So I had one, I think I was up, I don't know, I want to say I was up, I forget now, $1,100 or something like that. And I took 400 because it seemed like a nice round number, right? Or was it 1,200? I forget what I was at. Anyway, $400 at that time left me with $1,000 in profit total with what I had. And I was trying to keep that profit locked. So I used $400 and I just kept it the whole time. So I did this, $75, 66 inside, so 9 change, okay? And I want you to watch the way I work my rack here. So 66 inside will do. And again, I'll do this as a naked set of bets. And hopefully the dice will help me tell the story of how this whole thing went down. So 66 inside, up and off. And by the way, could not tell the Sahara dealers up and off. They had no idea what the hell that meant. It was, like I said, the Sahara dealers there's our good luck chips. There's our good luck chips. Hopefully they'll help us out here. We get a point. There's a midnight for the point. It doesn't really matter so much. And we got a 4. Good. Good point. Point is going to be 4. So I'll show you the way that I worked my rack. And I think this is the important piece to see how I was able to survive this weekend. So there's a 4. Let's hopefully grab some inside numbers here and we'll make it work. There's a 6, 2, easy 8. So we'll drop $1 and ask for 22 pressure. Y'all know the system by heart by now. I do this thing like every single day, it seems like, right? So there it is. There's the 88 inside. And again, if I'm at a $10 table versus a $15 table, the move here is different, okay? There's a yo 11. It doesn't matter. We need that inside number, please, shooter. Help John tell a story. There's another midnight, 2 midnights and 2 midnights and an 11 in this roll. Good Lord. And at 10 hard. Yikes, we're not on the hard ways yet. One thing I was doing, by the way, at Harrah's, which I didn't show here, when I would do the 66 and get back the $9, I was going dollar hard ways. I took the $4 and got the hard ways with it. I didn't do it here, but I did that quite a bit at Harrah's, actually, and would parlay those things. So I won't do it because I don't want to be unfair. All right, so we lose. Let's go ahead and get these. I'm going to bring this back down to 66 and drop another set of money out. So that happens, right? You're going to, just like upstairs, we lost, or out in the garage, we lost. And I wasn't really concerned about it because the rack ends up getting itself right. We're going to go another $75 with another $9 and change and say same bet. Okay, this time I will grab the hard ways and we'll see if we can't get some parlays up in there. And again, watch the rack here. So now I'm down to 250 in the rack. We got our hard ways going. Catch a new point. That'll be a 10 this time. Hard ways are off on the come out. And let's just roll it out and see what happens. 5. 5 the fever. Okay, so just like before, $21. Drop $1. Press them up. We need our shooter to be a good shooter. and not burn our bankroll. Oh my God, look at us. Look at us having a day like John has. My God. I love it when I'm trying to tell you how things work and then they don't freaking work. Let's take all this down. Ugliness, ugliness, ugliness. All right, we need $66 again. I don't even have it. 50, 62, another 75 bucks, another 9 change. God. Hard ways up and off. Can we do it? Can we earn back our money? We're down a little bit. We're going to work this rack. We're going to work this rack really hard here and see if we can't make money today. 9 is the point. 4 is the call. Easy 4. Lose the hard 4. I will put the hard 4 back. If I'm ahead, I'm putting it back with juice. Another 7. Holy crap and crap. Look at that. Not even one hit that time. Jeez. All that goes away. 50, 65, 66 bucks. There's our out, and we're going to be out of money here. We're not going to make a dime today. Jeez, Aloo. Can we do this? Can we do it? 8. 8 is the number. 8 is the number. 6 is the call. Hard 6. Okay, no hard ways because I didn't buy in for the full 75. I bought in for exactly 66. Jen, can I borrow $1? Jen says, yes, John, I love you. You can have $1 from my rack. So this is Jen. I owe Jen $1 if we can make this happen. There we go. How about an inside hit? Hey, we got an 8. Thank God. Good Lord. All right, so we get the 8. At a $10 table, here's what we do. Now I'm going to actually show you the way that I work this. There's a quarter. I'm going to take 4 nickels and $5. I'm going to change my quarter rack because I want you to show you the move that I was doing all week. Here's Jen's $1 back, by the way. I'll pay her back. I would say 30 for 2, right? That 8's going to pay 28 bucks. 30 for 2 and make me look like 64 across. Okay, so I would get 30 for my 2 and then down to 64 across, okay? And it's going to be 20, 40, 60, 4 across, and this comes back to me, okay? You can drop another $1 and say, give me a quarter, okay? Again, a good crew starts to figure this out, and I can drop $3 on that move and get back $55, all right? So now I got $55 in the rack. I've got $64 going across, and we're gonna be in good shape. We're not perfect, okay? We're not out of the hand completely, but we're okay, right? Normally, the skill 66 funds 44 inside, not 64 across, but this is what I did to kind of catch the roll if it was gonna happen. Now I'm 64 across. I will take a nickel. We're gonna grab the hard ways with $1 change, and let's let a new point come out, and let's try and rebuild this thing and work this thing really, really hard. And here's what I did from this point forward, okay? I'm gonna work a Philly special for 1 good hit, and then we're gonna reset things out. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm gonna work the Philly special here. If I can catch a couple of numbers, and we may not, for 1 good outcome. Okay, we lose the 8. Hard 8 goes down. We get paid 15 for 1, or I'll pay it 14 bucks. We're gonna press it up. 14 bucks, right? We'll replace the hard 8. Hard 8's back. We're gonna press up the 6 and the 8 both to $18. Rack the rest. Philly special, remember, it's gonna be the sister press in here. It's gonna be the G money on the 5 and 9. It's gonna be we're gonna try and bomb the 4 and 10, okay? So here we get a repeater on the 8. Again, it's an easy 8. We lose the $1. Now we're getting paid 21. Replace the hard way. Rack the nickels. That's a collect on that one. At this point, you're out of the hand, right? At this point, that $21 got us back. Remember we had 150, went out 64. Now we're even. 6 to 8 again. We losing the hard 8, which kind of blows. It's going to pay $21. We're going to drop $3. We're going to press them both all the way up, right? Let's get them both looking like 24. Or 30 rather. So they both go to 30. That's the move. Okay, the next 6 or 8 that pays 35 bucks, that's when I reset my field, okay? Hard 8 can go back. Matter of fact, what I would do in this situation, because I'm ahead, is press them all. So I'll put 5 bucks out there. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the whole nickel. Now I got $2 in the hard ways. Press them up a little bit. These two are ready for their home run hit, their second hit. And then we'll do a little reset. If we can catch a reset, we'll catch a reset. There's a 6-5 yo. I'm gonna try and get green chips back to the rack as often as I can. There's a 9, 5, 4. So the 9 and the 5 on the G Money plan, they're gonna go to a quarter. So we're gonna go, it'll pay 14 bucks. We'll do 15 for 1. So I'll take 4 bucks back from that nickel there. Press it to a quarter. Now that's gonna collect 35 bucks. If the 9 comes in, we reset the board. You'll see what I mean. There's the 9, 6, 3, 9. So the 9 comes in, okay? 25 pays 35 bucks. Now watch what I do. Back to 64 across, please, okay? I'm gonna take these down, all the greens down. The 9 goes back, the 8 goes back. I'll even take money from my rack to make it look easy for the dealers, which I have done many times, right? Here comes 4 green chips back. 200 bucks, 250. I'm working back the backside to get the greens back. I'm not gonna be aggressive out here, fully aggressive until I got my greens, right? That's the pattern that I followed. Give me a couple of greens, let me get back down again. There's a 5. So the 5 will now do the same thing. We're gonna go, it's gonna get paid 14 bucks. I'll pay it like this, $14. I'll drop a nickel, make it a quarter. I'll take the $4 and change. And now we're just gonna work. We're gonna work this kind of pressing. And this time what I'll do is I'll get them to a nice even number, if I can pull it off, and start collecting greens quickly. Same thing, the 9, 15 for 1. Looks like a quarter. Got 2 green chips out there. See how this is working? Right, I'm gonna keep this system going, this grind here, until I can get those greens recovered. There's a 6, or I'm sorry, that rolled on me, that was an 8, 5, 3. Okay, so again, 14 bucks. Because I did the sister press the last time, now we're gonna press the 8. I'm just gonna press them each independently and try and work them. We did lose our hard 8. That will go back. 9, 5, 4. We were rolling some 9s on this shooter, right? 35 bucks, 25, 35 bucks. That's the G Money, right? We flipped the 9, right? Now the 9 goes to $20. I've been dropping 2 nickels to say make it look like 20, because now we're gonna go from 20 to 50. The second side of the G Money, 2 greens, back side of the rack. Now look where I am. We got our ass kicked earlier, okay? This is where I was doing the entire time. I got 300 bucks that I have in my rack. I bought in for 400. What's out here? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, right? Out here, plus my rack is 400 bucks. I'm back to even again. Okay, I look at that and go, okay, we're back. We worked those 3 consecutive losses and we're even. I can pull all this down and I'm gonna feel good about myself, okay? The way that I played it was this. The next kind of nice big hit that we get here on the 9 or the 5 or whatever, I'll regress that back down again and I'll start filling greens up. This is exactly how we do it. There's the 5. The 5 hits, 35 bucks, 25, 35. I don't have 2 nickels. So I'll say make it look like 20. So they're gonna take a quarter, looks like 20, give me back a nickel. Reds go in the front, greens go in the back. And I'm just about where I wanna be. There's my 7. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, it's gonna happen. But look how we worked that rack. Like I could have been out there pressing all those numbers like a crazy person the entire time. What we did was we selectively regressed back twice, made sure I made the green stack look happier than it was. And now 50, 60, 5, 66 across or inside, please. There's my $1 to press up and I'm only missing 125 bucks in the green side. Let's do it. Let's do one more shooter worth and see if we can't catch the same run and get ourselves back. This is actually more work than I wanted to do. Okay, there's 66. I will preemptively take the hard ways. Dollar change. They did nothing for me last time, but maybe this time we'll have that kind of a shooter. Everything's up and off, by the way. 6, 4, 10. Let's go. Let's go. Let's have the nice little run here, if we can. Just when I say it out loud, right? We catch big red. Let's just drop 75 and get 9 back and say same bet. For the sake of speed here, we'll do another couple of shooters and then we'll call the show. Here's the $4, by the way, for the hard ways. We're back. Bets are back. Puck is off. 7 out on the come out. Our good luck chips here aren't doing very good for us. That was a 1, 2, 3, not a 7. Doesn't matter. It was the come out. Come on. 9. All right. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Grinder, baby. Let's grind it. Couple inside numbers. Nope. You gotta be kidding me. 7 again. God. $75. 66 inside plus the 4 is 5 change. Oh my goodness gracious. Too quick. Bets are all back out there again. My God, John. 8. 8, 8, 8. What a terrible example of how we played, right? Hard 6, that's good. That pays 21. We'll drop the dollar. We'll press them up. Okay, that 6 pays $9. That's a parlay. Now I went back and forth parlaying those and doing a full press. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, those are loser bets. It's a complete shot in the dark what you're doing down there. We're really just trying to get this top part to work. That's all I really care about right now is getting the top section to work. If that thing happens to hit, that really kind of helps out a lot. There's an 8. So here again, remember the call. 30 for 2. Right? We'll lose the hard 8, by the way. 30 for 2. And down. To 64. So you should be able to get to, there's the 4 and 10. There's a 6. There's the 8. These need to get an extra $1. And back to the rack we go. There's 20. 5. Oh, wait, the hard ways are still there. Sorry. Take one of those, put the hard weight back. And now we got a green chip back. These reds can be a green. That's 2 green chips back. And look at the rack. So we're 175 in the rack. And again, it's working greens. Now I'm going to work Philly special. Or not. We'll suck on a 7 and lose $10. Not a great example today. This is a terrible set of rolls. But this is what I did. This was my literal way to play the entire time I was there. I did this exact strategy almost the entire time. Sometimes with a don't. When I was in recovery, actually there's 10 extra bucks here. Sometimes with the don't pass as a recovery method. This thing paychecked me almost every time. I hit the 2 numbers almost every time. And when I didn't, the next shooter would, and then I would get a Philly special hit. Either the 9 or the 5 would pop for me. And I'm working those greens all day long. So it was actually, like I said, not a good example today, but that's what I did the entire time out there. So good for me to show you losing, right? I guess it's good to see that losing. And oh my God, look at the chop. Good Lord. Hope you guys can hear still. I'm not sure if you can even hear or see what's going on with this stupid connection of mine. All right, what kind of questions do we have? Any other PCs or Qs? Let me take a look here. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see. It's not the router, it's my computer. My computer right now, I have a 2017 Mac, and it's got a really small hard drive. So the problem is that the hard drive is full, and it's full because of work stuff. I can't delete things. And when we're doing the live videos, it's swapping memory to the hard drive, and the fan is going, and the hard drive is kicking. So it bogs the whole machine down to a crawl, and that's the problem. So I've got to get a new computer which just has more space and more memory on it, and a little more modern. That's what the whole problem is. Yeah, you know what, Dan? I actually the money that I won, I bought a new computer for the garage. So the garage has got a nice new Mac Mini in it. I'm gonna pay that computer off with these winnings. My next paycheck set's gonna go to this computer in here. So that's what's happening. So I'm not recommending the Iron Cross, Dan. No, they are iron spikes though. That tat's super cool. It's starting to itch now though. Now I'm getting to where it's like it's itching pretty bad, but it's super cool. He did a great job with it. Let's see. Does the Bubble Craft machines there roll? You know what? No. Actually, the thing is, the individual Bubble Crafts, Waylon, to me, are fixed, right? They know what you're betting on. And I can tell you this. When I was trying to recover, like, okay, so we lost our $6 across, whatever it was. Okay, fine. Screw you. Going out, $5 on the 4, $5 on the 10. Lay 410 for 5 instead of the back wall lay every single time picks up a 4 or 10. Like there's no question that those things are rigged. And I don't mean rigged in like it's trying to screw you. I mean rigged in that it's Bubble Crafts is a slot machine. You got to remember this. This is actually news to most of you probably. They are slot machines. Slot machines in Vegas have to pay out a certain number, just like in Atlantic City. They're regulated. Slot machines have got to pay out. I want to say it's 81 or 82%, whatever it is. Most casinos jack them up. They pay out 92, 94%, right? More frequent payouts, right? That's their VIG. Their VIG is that 5%. That's their guarantee. Slot machines are guaranteed 5% to the casinos or whatever they got the dial set to. Bubble Crafts is the exact same thing. There's a ball or a magnet or something. I think it's a ball that's inside the dice that forces them to roll certain numbers. And the computer knows that you've got X amount of dollars on the table that it has paid you. Let's say I bought it for 100 and it paid me 50. The computer's behind $50. It's got to take $60 or $55 from me at some point. It's got to do that to keep itself even. Now, it may not take it from me because I'm pressing the cash out button. So now it knows, okay, I'm upside down $55. The next person comes up, whack, 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 takes all their money. Like that's what happens. Slot machines, they are on an RNG, just like Bubble Crafts. So it's not the next roll is going to take your money, but that randomness ends up being a little bit less random because they scope down the possibilities to make sure that things happen. That's why they feels like there's so many 7s and 4s and 10s because it knows. And sometimes it's behind. Sometimes the Bubble Crafts, sometimes you get idiots out there that put too much money out and the Bubble Crafts takes too much money from them. And now it's upside down. Like it's taken an extra $500 now it goes, oh shit, I'm supposed to be paying out 95%. I've taken $500 extra. It's got to give back $490 or $475. So when I roll up the machine and I see that big run, 35 rolls with no 7s, it's trying to give the money back. Like that's what the RNGs do. They're trying to keep themselves in compliance because those machines are regulated by the state. So they got to stay in compliance. That's probably a little known fact. I don't know how the computer side of that works, but absolutely those things are timed to pay you out. A slot machine can actually time it, right? Because it's win or lose and it's just based on bet amount. The crafts machine, there's a little more, so it removes combinations. And that's trust me, that's what's going on there. So rigged, no. But regulated, absolutely. And that's, I think, why you see the weird things that you see. I think when you see them, you've got to bet them on those machines because it's trying to get itself right, I think, in the end. Skill Lux says, I need to get a few t-shirts. Yes, for sure. Oh my God, for Chip and yeah, we will not be doing the Chris Farley dance on my show. Oh my God. Chiro took his shirt off last night. Can you believe that? Yeah, we'll consider that. Maybe we'll do something weird on Crash the Cure. Biff wants to know that I played the 6.6 on Bubble Crafts. No, I didn't. You can though. On Bubble Crafts, what you do is you go $3 inside. So again, it's three on each number. Take a hit. Every one of those things pays about $3.50 or so. Go to $4 inside. When the hit comes, go to $6 across or $4 inside. That's the 66. On bubble craps, the 66 is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, or 3, 4 threes, go to 4, back down to 2. It's the exact same. Remember the units conversation we had? It's instead of 18 to 24, which is 3 units to 4 units, it's 3 actual dollars to 4 actual dollars to 2 actual dollars. It totally works on bubble craps. Bubble craps also, I found that the drawdown worked great, right? You can go, again, $5 on the inside to $3 to $1. That works so good on bubble craps. It worked really, really well. Matter of fact, that was like the secret to bubble craps for me, was the drawdown. Like just getting a couple of hits on those things, and then when I drew down sometimes, I would actually draw down from 5 to 3 to 1. And then the mind thing worked, or the permanent press worked too. Just take a hit, press across, take a hit, press across, take a hit, press across. You basically got 2 of those across presses paid for by your first wins. And then you're winning $4, $5, $6, $7 every time you get a hit. And you're out of there with $50 before you know it. Like, it doesn't take long to make $50. Seriously. Yeah. What else do we have? Any questions that you want me to cover? I'm actually on the wrong screen over here too. Let's see. I think that's it. The big question, I did not go to see King Dice, only because of time. I went to Fremont Street one time. He's down by Fremont Street. I went down to Fremont Street only for the closing ceremonies and to play with Brian at Fremont early in the morning. That was it. We spent our entire time at the Strip. And that's because family. I had family in town and we were just doing family things the entire time. My craps was 7 a.m. and 1 a.m. Like morning and night was my morning coffee run, nighttime bubble craps. That was it. So I didn't get to see him. Next time I go, I didn't see Dan. I wrote to Dan, Dice Doctor. I didn't get to see Dan either because we had so much happening. I really didn't play with anybody as much as I probably should have. It's just too busy and people too spread out. So next time we go to Vegas, it'll be a little more less people and a little more confined, and we'll be able to do things, I think, a little bit better. So lessons learned on how to run a meetup and how to play with friends. So I think that's all I got. We're over time. Are we over time? We're 15 minutes over time. And yeah, I'll do more of this. I have some more plans here to talk about what I did in Vegas. We'll do this strategy some more. Today was not a great example, but we'll do some more of it. I'll play the bubble craps thing with you the way I did it in Vegas. I'll do it here on the table. You can see how that worked out too. Just to give you a sense of what I did. Like I said, I didn't go home run shopping this time. I went paychecking, and paychecking worked. I made a good 100 to 150 to 250 every single session after my first losses. And I did what I just did here. Just a little better result. Sometimes takes more time, but I was in and out of there for the most part. 3-4 shooters, I didn't put any time in at the tables because I didn't need to. And I just kind of said, I'm going to try and paycheck every session and get the hell out of here with money. And we did it. So that's it, folks. That's my Vegas recap. More over the week. We're going to work bubble craps. We're going to work some other stuff this week too, like I said. And yeah, anything else you want me to talk about or cover, just drop me the email. Go to john@procraps.net. Whoa, what happened there? john@procraps.net is my email address. Discord me if you want to. If you have my text me. And yeah, I'm happy to talk about whatever you want to with regards to Vegas or other things I did or whatever else. And that's it. In the meantime, peace. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless every one of you. Bye.